Well, there was a shake-up as well at the building materials business Boral. CEO and so-called change agent Mark Selway left unexpectedly after just 2 years in the job. Boral chairman Bob Every popped out an explanation that read in part, the company requires a chief executive with a leadership style suited to harmonising the changes that have occurred over the past 2 years. So what does that all mean? They'll stand around in circles holding hands and singing Kumbaya?
Well, I don't know. He walks away with, I think, a year's pay, about $2.4 million, and he gets to keep $5.4 million in shares, subject to performance hurdles, of course. I mean, that could have been worse, but I don't know. It's a shock to the market, and I think that they'll have a real communication challenge, actually putting some substance around that change. And Boral is still, I think, returning something like 5.5% return on equity. So it's got a long way to go at a very uncertain part of the cycle to actually get a decent return for investors.
Yeah. Is this really a failure of the board and the approval program?
I think it's getting back to what happens with a lot of boards in difficult situations. They're not so much not transparent to the marketplace, but the communication of what's gone on leaves more questions to be answered than were actually there. And what was said was pretty average sort of commentary in terms of what actually has gone on, and the market's left to run on rumour and innuendo. And at the end of the day, but a CEO is not the company himself. Boral's a big company in many markets, and at the end of the day, one CEO going is not necessarily a bad thing, unless it's the first domino in a lot of bad news.
And that's the thing. They come out and say he's gone, and don't really put much colour around it. Just that the strategy's the same. We love the strategy. We love what he was doing. It just seems like it was a cultural thing. So if it was, let's explain that more, because Peter's right. You start to think, well, are they going to say something? Is something hidden 2 months down the track that we're going to hear about?
Yeah, if it was a strategic direction decision, you'd really want to know that. But the board owns this decision now, and if they take their foot off the restructuring that they've planned, I mean, the board are going to come under a huge amount of scrutiny, I think, from external shareholders.